welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I have a very special guest with us, Jake Dupree.
Hi.
And for those who aren't familiar with Jake, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm a burlesque performer, a dancer, and a fitness instructor here in Los Angeles.
Wonderful. What are some of your earliest influences with burlesque? How did you get started? What's your story?
Well, I think my earliest influences in terms of burlesque and what being really intrigued by it. I mean, I've always loved it. I remember as a kid, I saw Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and I was just like enthralled with Marilyn Monroe, and also seeing Jessica Rabbit in the Roger Rabbit movie. I was like dumbfounded seeing them. And my grandmother, when I was a little kid, I used to always like to dress up in her nightgowns and like her costume jewelry, and she just treated me. She never like thought it was weird or treated me differently for wanting to do that. And so it just always has been this like natural progression with me. And then I was always like wanted to be just a naked little kid running around all the time. So it's just like part of me, I guess. But in terms of burlesque stuff, I went to my very first burlesque show in New York City. I was in college and I was dating a guy who lived in New York City, and I flew to New York to be with him for a few days. And he took me to Duane Park in New York, and I hadn't been to a live burlesque show, but of course I was familiar. But I saw it and I was just like, this is amazing. And then when I moved to LA, like several years later, I would go to Tease You Please all the time, and like it just like the level that I saw there, it was always amazing. And of course, I was obsessed with Dita Von Teese too, and really inspired by her and everything that she's done, and just including the giant martini glass act. I just like loved everything she did, and it was just really cool to get to be around that world. And then now that I get to be a part of it, it's so strange. Like it's still weird to me to see like certain people from TCU Please like pop up on my phone texting me, and like
Aw.
now we're friends, so it's not like it's anything weird, but it's just so strange because I went for like 5 years before being in the show officially, and it's just amazing, like crazy, truly crazy.
Right, yeah, and the production value of that show it's
It's
one of the
it's
best.
paralleled. It really is. There's nothing out there in the world like it, truly.
Yeah. So did you take any kind of dance classes when you were younger? Yeah.
Um, well, I was actually a gymnast, and I competed in gymnastics for like basically all my childhood. And I had never really taken an official dance class till I got to college. During my second year of college, I met a girl who was Miss Dance Florida, and we were at the fake prom of my school, and I was with my friends and she was with hers, and then we just started dancing together, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're a dancer! Like, where did you train?" And I was like, "I have never taken a dance class ever in my entire life." And she was like, "I'm gonna change that." And so she became like sort of my like dance guide, and we would go and like dance all the time. And not having the technical training from growing up, I had a lot of catching up to do, and it was just finding dance was like this missing puzzle piece that I didn't even know was missing. And my mom was a dancer all growing up, so it's just in my body, I think, or in my genetic
Yeah.
makeup to be a dancer. But it's pretty cool that I get to do that now, and I've worked really hard to try to build to regain the technique that I never really got as a kid from growing up. But gymnastics definitely helped.
Yeah, and you're a very unique style of boylesque dancer. You're very technically advanced, I would say. Yeah, you're amazing. I love you, and the crowd loves you too. I've seen it firsthand.
I mean, it's just so fun. It's so funny. Like I never pictured myself like being in front. I mean, like always, I guess I pictured myself being in front of a crowd, but like seeing the way that a crowd reacts to me and stuff, I never quite imagined that, I guess. And it's truly crazy to, get to experience that. It's like a rush that I've never even felt before in my entire life.
Yeah, it's like a drug almost.
Truly, truly, truly.
So how did you transition from being an audience member at Tease If You Please to actually performing on television?
So I was doing this. I got this job as like a unicorn for Cosmopolitan magazine, and I would interview celebrities, and it was sort of like this androgynous kind of character. Like he was never explained what the gender of the character was, or like how the character expressed themselves, and it was just like I got to be whatever I wanted to be and be paid for it. And so it was this excuse for me. And I always wanted to play around with like my feminine side and be that little kid that I used to get to be with my grandmother and, parade around in her nightgowns. And to be able to be paid for it was like a great excuse to be like, oh yeah, I have to do this. Like this is a job. But it was like secretly like everything I'd ever wanted. Um, and I was in a relationship at the time, and we were together for a while, and then I got that unicorn job, and then he was not super supportive of me doing like more feminine expression stuff. And I'd always been interested in drag and like drag race, and we always, I thought, I'd always like thought like, what if I was a drag queen, this is what it would look like or whatever. And I thought I'd never seen a boy do burlesque like the way that I had thought I would want to do it. So I thought that drag was the option for that. And my ex and he broke up with me, and whatever. And then I went through a really like deep depression, and started to kind of get myself out of it. I just wanted to do things that scared me, or things that made me nervous, or things that I'd always wanted to do but never had the guts to do it.
Yeah.
And I would spend like, it was like January, February, and March. I would literally just sit in my room at like, Friday, Saturday nights, like alone, just doing my makeup, and I would just play around with all that stuff. And it was just fun. Like the unicorn job kind of like segued me into that, which was nice. And then I entered a drag competition at a gay bar here in West Hollywood called Revolver, and they had like an amateur drag competition. It was like 10 weeks, $5,000 cash prize. And
Whoa.
yeah, and then I entered that, and each week, there's like themes and stuff, but I would always fit the theme into like a burlesque way, and like do my sort of play on like masculine and feminine. And I was wearing wigs at that time and stuff, and just playing around and just trying to figure myself out too. And in that, I did a number based on Miss Miranda's number where she pours hot sauce down her leg and has some lick it off. And I reached out to her, like we didn't know each other at the time. I mean, I had seen her perform, but she didn't know me. And I reached out to her, and I was like, I'm doing this number based off of your Tabasco number. Like, I would love for you to see it. And she was like, oh my God, please send it. And I did. And then she emailed me back with this huge email. I was shocked. And she was like, that was amazing. And I was like stunned. And then she would keep up with me throughout the weeks of the competition. And then I ended up winning the whole thing, which was crazy. And then 2 weeks later, she messaged me, and she was like, Dita is having these auditions for this Von Folly show in LA. You should go. And I was like, yeah. And I thought it was just like a backup dancing job or something. And I was just like, I'm not really interested in that. Like I've done the musical, like dancing in the back of musicals, I'm just not interested. I'd rather just focus on this. And I was coming off the high of winning that competition. I was like wanting to focus, but I was like, and she was like, just go. So I went, and it was like I went, with my boy hair and like lingerie and my heels. And it was like the room like stopped, and I did not expect that. And it was just crazy to be like in front of Dita, in front of Donna Hood and Ginger Time, like all these people that I had always like really looked up to. And especially Donna, like she's such a dancer, and like every time I would go to Tease If You Please, I was always just blown away by her moves, because we move very similar, I think, in a way.
Yeah.
And when I sat down with Dita like 2 weeks later for the like callback or whatever, and she was like, you'll be doing the martini glass number. And I was like, wait, what? And I literally started crying in front of her. Like I was so embarrassed, and I was like, she was like, no, I'm happy that you're like this, because if you were just like, okay, I'd be like, no. So, and then that's the number that kind of like changed everything, because it was like I started in like a tux, and that all came off to be lingerie underneath. and then of course I like dipped into the martini glass, but it was just it was it was like all the pieces like came together, and from then I could just like run with all of it.
Wow, that's such
Yeah.
an amazing story.
It's true. I mean, it's like truly, but it's so crazy because it's like all these aspects that I thought would never reach each other in my life, they all kind of like have come together to be in this space, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's like a full circle moment for you.
It's weird. Like I still can't even believe it sometimes. I'm like, this is so strange that I even get to say I did that number. Like it still feels like a dream, like it didn't actually happen to me.
It did. I've seen the photos.
Yeah, it's real. It's real. I didn't Photoshop them, I swear.
So you were saying that you were in a depression for a while and you were doing your makeup and everything. Did you have any kind of influences for that? Anyone that inspired you during that time, or were you just kind of going off of those feelings you had internally?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of makeup stuff, was really inspired by like Violet Chachki because, of course, from Drag Race, she was like a burlesque queen, and I was sort of, I just responded really well to how the way she painted her face, and then I didn't know if I didn't know that I liked like the drag look on me, so I wanted to like kind of simplify it and make it a little bit like me but heightened. Like I
Mhm.
still wanted it to be like me and not like necessarily a separate person or a character that I had created. I wanted it to be just me. Um, and so yeah, and I also I've always been obsessed with like Grace Jones and Annie Lennox, like these women who sort of border this androgynous line, and like David Bowie too, in terms of men that do that too. And it's I just always like thought that was so sexy, like that blur between masculine and feminine, and I think that's just me as a person. So I love getting to do that.
Yeah. So let's see. What is your favorite thing about boylesque?
I think for me, it's like I get to do whatever the hell I want. I think that's it. I don't have to wait for anybody's permission, like, coming up with new costumes or new numbers or new whatever. Like that, it's all on me. And I love that independence. I think it's been so empowering for me to feel that and to be like a self-starter with all of it.
Hmm.
And there's not anybody really out there that I could like look to be inspired by it that's like close to what I do. So it's like it's been fun to kind of trailblaze this way that's very specific to me, and I love that.
Yeah. So you have had a lot of recent press. You are a male model. I don't know if you consider yourself a model, but
I
you're
don't consider myself a model at all.
lingerie. So you have been in the press a lot recently because of that. How has that affected you personally? How has that affected your career? Have you seen any sort of effects from that?
I mean, it was truly crazy. Like, I think you're probably referring to like the red lingerie picture that I posted, and
Hmm.
blew up and became this whole thing. And for me, it was I didn't like I bought that for my birthday in April to like just as I always wanted a really like flashy, like bright red set. And so I just ordered it and I posted it, not thinking that even, that company would even see my picture. And then whenever she reached out and she was like, "Oh my God, like this is amazing," and they posted it, and then it went like crazy because of all these people saying really hateful stuff on there, like this is disgusting, this is gross, like lingerie is meant for women and stuff. And it was just crazy because I didn't even think that any of that would happen at all. Like I was just posting it on my Instagram to be like the people being like,
Right.
"Hey, look, here's another outfit I'm in," and being like, "I feel cool, I feel like confident and pretty in it." So to see like the amount that it like the life that it took on, and I'm thankful for those people saying mean stuff because it got me into all this attention that I've wanted and like wanted the exposure. So I'm like, thank you for being mad because it got me exactly what I wanted. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of me. So stay mad.
Yeah.
But those comments, like those like negative comments, it doesn't really affect me. I mean, of course, there was one comment that really hurt me, and it was like the interview I did for Out Magazine. I revealed like some of the stuff that sort of prompted me into like the life that I live now in terms of my breakup. And like this person wrote to me and was like, your your ex-boyfriend, it was so smart to like dump you, like you're trash. Like I mean like really personal stuff.
Oh my God.
Every, like you can call me ugly, you can call me, any derogatory gay slur, like you can call me any of those things, but like to hit like that, I was like, it just, I mean, it took like the wind out of me for a second. But I've I've wasted so much of my life being saying negative stuff to me and like being not completely happy and not completely expressing myself. I don't even let like comments like negative comments even affect me because I'm like like so happy in my life, like truly so happy because I get to express myself both like I mean in every capacity in my life. And what I wish for those people that say negative stuff to me, it's like I wish that you would find at least an ounce of the happiness that I get to feel because I've gone through a lot to get to this point, and it's like I wish, people will never know that or like fully know that because they don't know me and haven't seen my entire life. But I just think it's really silly for people to be so quick to judge somebody just for being trying to be happy or just to try to express themselves. But I'm happy that's happening to me that can handle it and not somebody that couldn't. Because I'm like, if someone if I can like break down that barrier for somebody and take all the backlash and take the heat and take the nastiness, I'm happy to do that because I can handle it. And then hopefully people that come behind me that will, ultimately do it better and bigger than I ever even thought I could do. I hopefully will take all that from them having to deal with it. So it's
Yeah,
just
and hopefully that will be inspiring to someone who may be struggling with those hate comments or struggling to express themselves.
it's like we live in an interesting time where there is the language to help identify the way that a lot of us have felt our entire life. Um, and I'm happy that I have that now, but it's like it's fun to be able to put the face to that now and to put the name to it and to be like, okay, this is what I am and this is who I am and it's fully acceptable and nice and good and I can live like a happy, prosperous life. And I'm happy that I can show people that they can be like, masculine and working out and then feminine wearing lingerie and dancing and like feeling like their sexy vibe. Like you can do all those things and it's possible to do all those things and to be accepted for those things.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for anyone that might be struggling with those kinds of comments or, just struggling with their identity?
Yeah, I think the words of advice I would say is like just be kind to yourself and know that you're doing everything right. Like the way that you feel is valid, the way that you feel is perfect. Like you're made perfectly the way that you are. And I think that so many of us try to fit into like this weird bubble of what we think a gay person or a man or a queer person or a performer or whatever looks like. And it's like now's the time to do something interesting, especially in times like this where it's so hard and lots of people are feeling like so distraught and put out and sad. And I think that now's the time to create. And it's like don't waste your life trying to be someone else. Like do what makes you happy. Like you don't have to do full out like me, like performing the way I do. But like find what that is for you and you can mold that to what you want it to be.
Right.
And that's easier said than done, obviously, but I'm happy that there are people out there that we can look to and that other people can look to and be inspired by and be like, okay, I can do that. Like, it might not be that, but I can see the path, at least some path.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
really good advice.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to give advice about that because it's all about like timing and, feeling comfortable with yourself. But
Right.
I see younger and younger people feeling that way and being able to express themselves the way they want to, and that's so exciting.
I do have one more question about the live stream burlesque. How
Oh,
has that been for you? Is that like a strange transition from going on stage to just being in your room and doing performances
and
that way? Do you kind of change up your choreography? Are you keeping things the same? How do you prepare? What's
well,
that
it's I kind of enjoy these Instagram live burlesque shows and like online burlesque shows because a lot of people that would never even be able to come see us are able to see us and see our numbers, you know. But it's like I feel it's like torn a little bit because I try to keep the numbers I'm doing to a minimum, so it's like you're only exposed to so much because I can't give everything away.
Uh-huh.
There's only so much I can do to keep up like new stuff, so it's like I just try to be thoughtful and mindful of what I'm putting out there, you know, for people to see. But it's been amazing, and so many people are seeing what I do, and like they're being like, I would never be able to come to your show, and like here I am, and I think that's amazing. So it's been really cool to connect with people from like all over the globe. But I really love it, and the best part about it is I get ready for 45 minutes, do my thing for 3 minutes, and then take it off, and I'm in sweatpants like literally 2 seconds later. So it's
Uh-huh.
been I don't have to worry about driving anywhere. I don't have to worry about flying anywhere. It's literally just right here, and you can see me from all over. And I think that's really fun. Obviously, I miss an audience and miss the live interaction of like being able to play and climb and do all the fun stuff that I do. But it's been really nice and kind of like a good slow down period for me, and just
Yeah.
nice. I really, really have been thankful for it, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you have anything coming up?
Yeah, there's something that's coming in the new year that I'll be shooting in January and February. I can't talk much about it, but I will say it's an awesome opportunity that will hopefully get me in front of a lot of faces, a lot more faces that probably have never seen anybody like me do what I do. So I'm very excited about that. I'll tell you privately.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to hear. That's so exciting.
It's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, so tell people where they can find you, where they can watch you perform.
Yeah, so you can find me on my Instagram and on my Facebook. My Instagram is at Jake Dupree, and my Facebook as facebook.com/the Jake Dupree. And if you want to work out with me and also take my burlesque class online, I have my Patreon series that I post every week. And you can just go to patreon.com/Jake Dupree and sign up and work out and dance with me whenever you want from your own home. It's great.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. You're doing so well.
Thank you. As you've been there, you've seen me from like the beginning too.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
know. I met you when you were just starting.
yep, yep.
Yeah, I
I
actually
love
met you in the shop. I remember.
it's so fun. It's like I love what Katie did. I mean, this is what Katie did and my corset and everything. I should like stand up so you can see
Yeah,
it.
show us.
It's good. I like and the gloves too. But I just love what you do. I love what the company does. I think it's fabulous and the pieces are so well done. I love them. So thank you for always like being so kind to me.
Yeah, we love you.
I love y'all so much.
All right, well, it was really nice talking with you. And hopefully some people will follow you on your Instagram and take your classes.
That'd be so cute. I would love that.
Yeah, all right, Jake.
Mwah.
Nice
Love you.
talking to you. Bye.